1986 Jeep CJ7. It's in for some fixing. This is my style of vehicle. I've actually owned an 83 CJ7 since 1994, and I'm in the process of doing some work to it. I'm hoping to get back to that here shortly. Hopefully this week I'll be working on that again. It's springtime and there's a whole bunch of other things that I'm responsible for, so I haven't had time to work on my toy. But I'm getting ready to do some more work to this one. I haven't seen this one since 2019. He's been enjoying this vehicle very well. Back then I installed a throttle body fuel injection system on the inline 6. It's a pretty cool little setup from Performance Fuel Injections up in Michigan, I think Howell, Michigan. And it's a nice little kit. He's got a little bit of a problem with his Jeep. It came in for surging in second gear, and I verified that. And then I looked it over and I found some other things that need attention pretty rapidly. This thing's been hurt and it needs some fixing. So we're gonna get to work on this thing. Beautifully restored 86. So 86 was the last year for the CJ7s, as I recall, but they, to my knowledge, they came with a Dana 44 rear end, which this one, oh, my battery's about dead. This one has a Dana Model 20 in it, and it's twisted, so we're going to try and resolve that pretty quickly. I'm going to get this thing up on the rack and figure out what the gear ratio is. We have a drivability concern to resolve, and it needs front brakes. So, let's get to work, and let's get my battery charged up. Oh, I'm stuck. Oh. Got it. I thought the 86s came with Dana 44s. Am I wrong on that? Or was that a different gear? Not that it matters. But the Dana 44 might not have had this failure. It's like the original cover. It's got the original cork gasket in it. Pretty clean. It's like the highway gear. Open diff. No identification marks. Let's count the teeth. So it looks like we have an 86 330, yeah, probably 331 gear. It's a 13 and 43 teeth, pretty common for this setup with a T5 and a Dana 300. Dana 44s were used in 86, but they used those when they ran out of the Model 20s. So if this is a truly an 86, then it's an early production 86 as opposed to end of production 86. The Dana 44s are super rare in these. So that clears up that question I had. So I'm going to run up to Rudy's CJ Parts up in Findlay, Ohio. We were lucky enough to have Rudy travel the country and pick up Jeeps from all over the place. And he's got a really nice clean housing with a track lock, so we're actually upgrading this rear axle. Since it's broken, I mean, you might as well make it better, right? So I'm going to make a trip up to Findlay, Ohio, and bring back a nice new axle for this fellow so we can get this thing over on the dyno and figure out what our drivability concern is, because I haven't figured that out yet. That's next on the list. In the meantime, I'm going to get some brake pads coming because the front brakes are all jacked up, but this Jeep is beautiful. You can Probably see the groove in there. Maybe you can't. Maybe I need to give you some light. You can see we're getting into the rivet. And we're definitely into the rivets over here. So we'll get some pads and rotors coming. U-joints look good. I mean, realistically, everything on this Jeep looks pretty good. It leaks like a Jeep is supposed to leak. That's what they do. And this is one of the cleaner Jeeps I've had in my shop. It's had work done. It's had bedside or panel sides put on it, at least on the passenger side. Looks like driver's side's the original. This side's had work done, but they did a nice job. Not a full panel side, but those are factory welds. Looks like they spliced it in right about there. Yep, there's your splice right there. Still super clean Jeep, really nice tub, nice Survivor. Very tastefully done paint job and decals. Let's get our fixin'. So, I would say it looks like the wedge rotated is part of our problem. This side didn't rotate, but this side did. These wedges really should be the full width of the axle if you're going to use wedges. So we're probably not going to reuse these wedges. That perch is actually bent, twisted. This U-joint's bent, which is might have been when this axle tube got rotated. I don't know. I wasn't driving it. But I'm gonna be the guy fixing it. Alright. Nice brake lines. The new one's actually really nice. I paid Rudy up at Rudy's CJ's. Gave him a fistful of cash to be able to do what we need to do here in a relatively quick manner. Should turn out okay. I wonder if these leaf springs are a lift kit and they came with the wedges. It's actually logical. It's weird that wedge is pitched that way and this wedge is pitched that way. I'm not quite sure what caused that. Oh, the center pin came loose. That's probably part of our problem. I wonder if that center pin, well, the center pin's definitely not broken. Let me pull my drive shaft loose, my vent tube off, and my brake hose off, and we will pull this axle out of the housing and drop a new one into it. I was looking at these leaf springs and they appear to be a Skyjacker soft ride lift kit. So we're going to see if we can sneak this axle out of here without too much headache. Watch it come crashing down. It's fine as long as it's not on my toes. Leaf, I think. Drop stuff on the floor. Wouldn't be a show without that. Can't believe I'm working on a mid-80s Jeep, and everything is coming out like without any problems. This is one of the cleanest Jeeps I've ever seen. Making a mess. I guess it doesn't matter if it hits the floor, it's all messed up anyway. Cap off, dummy. Vacuum caps keep my brake lines from bleeding all the fluid out. Fluid's pretty dirty, so we're going to do a brake fluid flush on this Jeep as a whole. Both loose. Got it perfect. Thought I went too far there for a second. There. Now the one I took off this position is bent, and I have an extra one I'm going to use, and I'll just cut it off. It's longer. It should work. That's too big. I'm going to have to get some U-bolts. Dang it. Well, that puts a speed bump in my situation. Shoot. See if I can call in a lifeline. for me, Stefan next door at Trail Quest may actually have some U-bolts for me, since I'm short one U-bolt on this project. He may have a full set, and if he has a full set, I may just replace them all. But Stefan over at Trail Quest Jeep Parts, a good place to buy your Jeep parts from. Newer Jeep parts, older Jeep parts, whatever. Get your Jeeps fixed. They do good work over there. Justin's a very knowledgeable technician. Well, I'm kind of stuck with this until I get my U-bolt. Let me go ahead and hook up my park brake cables and my drive shaft, and then hope I can dig up a U-bolt in the morning, and then I can basically roll this thing over onto the chassis dyno. I still need to change my fluid out. This one's empty. We checked it before I picked it up in Findlay at Rudy's CJ Jeep Parts. With that, I think I'm gonna probably head home because it's time. I'm tired. I'm tripping and my hands hurt. So, have a good night. I don't know if we'll cut this off right here. If we do, then have a great night. Click like, subscribe, leave us a comment below. And have a great day. We'll see you on the next one. Or maybe it'll just fade to black.